to Adventure Guys, the podcast for humans and dogs. I'm Eric the Human.
I am Nick the Human. And today we have a special guest, a returning guest.
Whoa.
Sort of a frequent guest.
What's up?
Sean Harvey.
Hey.
Sean the Human.
Friend of the show.
How's it going?
Sean, it's been weeks, 10 weeks more since you've been on?
10 weeks?
Something like that.
What? Has it been since the beginning of the calendar year?
Oh yeah, you haven't been on in a long time.
I don't know, man.
Ugh.
Time is an illusion.
Last time I was on, I must have been like, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. And then since then, wow, what a whirlwind we've been on.
Yeah, what have you been up to, Sean? What do you want to tell people?
Okay, well, I have been making some music. I've been teaching, making coffee whenever I feel like it, and then also living through a complete disaster, state of emergency blizzard as a result of climate change. So, you know.
As a result of Republican leadership, I said it.
Hey, you know what? I've been just sending around those wild Ted Cruz memes the last few days. I'm in full
Ted
support
Cruz.
of those things, man.
That guy defies logic because he gets slammed on the internet consistently, all the time, immediately. No matter what he does, the internet is there to be like, no, actually, fuck you, Ted Cruz. And yet he still keeps doing shit.
Yeah, I think part of the problem is first of all, we know that people get trapped in their bubbles on the internet. And secondly, I think a lot of people in Texas that are supporting him, frankly, might not really be spending much time on the internet.
Yeah. Man, you see those deep red counties in the Panhandle and, you know, those weird, you know, whatever, Robert E. Lee County or whatever, you know, it's like
Right.
no one in
The
Robert
counties
E.
that are like run by a sheriff as their like executive chair or whatever.
Yeah.
And also what made me mad was when they were doing the hearing that was interrupted by the insurrection that he provoked. Remember that? That was just like a month and a half ago. When he was talking about the election and like I had forgotten that he was a lawyer and he like went to Harvard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're like, oh God, yeah, like he knows how to speak and he knows how to craft an argument. And just hearing him like expertly craft this complete bullshit argument that he had for why the election like needed to be investigated, it was just making me even more mad. And then I was like, this is why dumbasses believe him, because like he's articulate about his buffoonery, you know?
Well, hopefully they realize that not only did he flee the state that he's supposed to be leading, but he left his dog alone in his house.
Really?
He left his dog Snowflake without power.
He named his dog Snowflake?
That's the other thing. Yeah, no one's talking about the fact that like it's this like Republican talking point of like, oh, dumb lib snowflakes. His dog's name is Snowflake.
That's weird. Oh, wait, so they left him
He obviously doesn't like his dog.
They left him in the freezing house? The all caps freezing house his wife texted about?
Yeah, and which I believe, I mean, we got to get Sarah McLachlan and the team on this, but I believe that's animal abuse and animal abandonment. We gotta, yeah.
We gotta write that wrong. Yeah, he sucks. I was saying to Sean is that when I think about him or Trump, is that I'm violent. You know, you get violent or angry, but I would love to just like throw an egg at him. Like, imagine that you're walking down the street. Well, first of all, you'd want to yell
like old timey.
Yeah, you'd want to yell "fuck you, Ted Cruz." Say "fuck you." Like if you're in the airport, how is there not one person that sees Ted Cruz and goes "fuck you"?
Go fuck yourself, Ted Cruz, you piece of shit.
Yeah, how is no one doing that at the airport? But secondly, I would just love to throw an egg, because imagine if you get an egg. If someone yells "fuck you" at you, that stings, but you can walk it off and be like, that guy's a crazy person. But if you get egg on yourself, you got to change your clothes. And if you're out and about in public, you don't have clothes with you. You're gonna ruin that person's day.
I'd go to jail for a night to throw an egg at Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
I'd take that hit.
Wild.
Yeah.
But anyway, so while he was in Cancun, Nick and I were posted up at the house in North Austin, and we thankfully it wasn't so like we didn't lose any utilities other than everyone's under a water boil notice right now. But we took
you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we took in some friends throughout the week who basically had like not been able to, who had like lost power, lost this or lost that or whatever.
Yeah, then they stayed over. Yeah, power, water, internet, heat was all out for like most people we know down here lost power, right?
Yeah, I think almost everyone I know lost power or heat. One of my bandmates, he and his fiance lost power, and therefore their heat for 4 days. And then they eventually lost their water, so then all of a sudden they had no water and no power, and then it's like the entire inside of your house becomes like 30 degrees, 28 degrees, whatever,
Yeah, we got so lucky.
We really did, yeah. It's very true.
Very fortunate. And it was funny for me, though, was that I started a new job this week internally at Atlantic Records, which I was telling you about, Eric.
Yeah.
I'm now director of marketing at Atlantic Records.
Woo! Yeah.
Yeah, catch me on LinkedIn updating that soon. Woo! But I was learning this job, and on Tuesday I had literally like 12, 13, 14 phone calls with people about like, hey, I'm going to be working with you now, and I'm not working with you anymore. Hey, you're taking over this project for me. Here's what you need to know. And it was just the worst day for it because like Austin was just crumbling. And literally I was on the phone and someone was telling me something, and then Sean comes over and he had been trying to get my attention. I think he texted me and stuff, and he handed me a Post-it note, and the Post-it note just said, like while I was talking to someone, like, yeah, this is going to be fun. And then I get it, and then Sean just says, we're about to lose water. Our landlord says, I'm filling the tub. Please keep checking the pressure. I'm going to the store now to buy bottled water. Like, I'm told that there's like a 2-hour wait at HEB. And then I just look at it and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm in this fog of a new job and the world's crumbling around me. So publicly, thank you, Sean, for like keeping an eye on.
Yeah, you're welcome. Not gonna lie, you kind of just. I mean, I know you didn't. I'm not gonna accuse you of mentally like missing the entire event, but you were not really present. You were Nick was very much in a new and different type of stressful world. So I was kind of like filling up pots of water and like all that stuff. But that was all we really had to do was just like we're boiling water now and all that stuff. Our water pressure is still pretty bad, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of snow last week. We just got like another 9 inches a couple days ago. So I've been like shoveling out stuff here, but I mean, otherwise, you guys know New York.
Yeah.
Business as usual.
Yeah, it's whatever.
Business as usual.
And I just quit my job last week, so I've been doing nothing.
Word.
Watching WandaVision.
Yeah, it's been the highlight.
Working on some 8-bit dub, maybe.
I am actually. That's probably the only thing I've been productive on. I'm experiencing this weird option paralysis where it's like I quit my job. I told you I have like basically 5 months of money to like do something.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have anything that has lingered. Like there are no like projects that I need to finish. There's nothing on my to-do list. I am totally a blank slate. I can start on anything I want. And that has been just as stressful as scrambling to finish a bunch of other projects.
Gotcha. I felt that for sure.
I updated my operating system to try and fix the bug that I had with the chiptune thing, and I did fix it. It caused another bug that I've found a workaround for, so I have been doing a lot of chiptune music. It's the only thing I've been productive on.
Okay, cool. Well, I'm glad it didn't ruin your computer, as we've talked about. Macs will do when you update their operating system, which is just such a insane thing that happens. Yeah, Sean and I have each been, I mean, I think like you, I mean, Sean's obviously got Kraken Quartet. I have my hypothetical record that I'm supposed to be working on, but we've been working on different projects as well. Sean.
Yeah, I mean, well, for me, like the percussion, Kraken's like basically we're all just kind of like on pause right now, but I've essentially been just trying to figure out other stuff to work on and whatever. And there's an awesome band with some friends of mine in Austin called Hikes, and I was supposed to start like recording their record last week, and then obviously when everyone lost all utilities, that was not possible. But because of that, and then before that, I've been trying to figure out new music to work on or new projects and stuff. And option paralysis, I that is a term I relate to for sure.
Yeah, Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, you should check out Hikes if you haven't before. Sean mixed to their
They're
last
rad.
record, and then you're
Yeah, I know Hikes.
okay. Good.
Oh, okay, word, yeah.
They in their festival a couple years back.
Oh, the South by Hikes.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Word.
2 years ago. Shit.
Well, the
Isn't that
last
wild?
year doesn't even feel like it counts.
I know, right? We're coming up on. It's almost been 1 year since the last Holophonic show.
Wow.
I think we played on Leap Day last year.
You guys were right in there, down to the wire.
Yep. There was a band from Chicago called Voice of Addiction. Really cool punk band. They were on a tour. I forget how many dates they were doing, but I think they had like a week of tour dates after our show in Denton before they got back home to Chicago. And they that first week of March, they finished out all their shows. They just got in under the wire. And then
Mhm.
everything's shut down.
Yeah. Wow. Kraken's last show was January 17th. And it was at Barracuda. Rest in peace, Barracuda. It's now closed.
Rip. Who knows when shows will happen again? I was just talking to a friend about this, and he was saying what he heard. Now I haven't heard these statistics myself, but he was saying in order to reach safety levels or herd immunity or whatever the hell, 75% of Americans need to be vaccinated, and he was saying that only 2/3 of Americans plan to get vaccinated.
I know.
So
That's wild.
it's-
Oh, that's so frustrating.
So,
And then, do you know what else is wild? Is that 75% of Americans, 25% of Americans are children, and they're currently not allowed to get vaccinated. So,
Oh, yeah.
and that's also basically coming into the forefront of all right, we got to figure that out now. We got to figure out what to do with kids, which as a public school teacher, on the daily, they just talked about 15-year-olds and up get sick exactly like adults. So this whole concept of oh, we don't need to vaccinate kids. If you are at a high school, that's garbage. Because it's the research is no, they get sick the exact same. And then they're well, you don't need to vaccinate the kids and you don't need to vaccinate the teachers. But it's just high schools are just going to get demolished.
Yeah.
They're still getting demolished.
And no matter how they get sick or don't get sick, they spread disease.
Yes.
It's the worst group for spreading disease.
Yeah, I know. It's craziness.
Fucking kids, man.
Get off my lawn.
fucking kids.
I have a question.
What?
I think that in this episode, Jake is guarding the lawn, kind of, against vampires. He wants vampires to get off his lawn. Am I right? Am I talking about the right episode here?
I don't know what he's exactly guarding. He's guarding, making sure that while Finn is sleeping, nothing happens to him. Is that what he's doing?
Maybe something like that. I don't know. Finn's got those sweet steaks, though.
Yeah.
So is this what we're doing now?
Yeah.
Episode discussion.
You guys were on a roll, so I was just letting you
A+
keep going.
transition work. You're welcome.
A lot of fun. That was a really fun first third of the podcast.
We'll see what edits happen in there.
Okay. Yep, it was. There was a good episode of Adventure Time. It was we're in the middle of a 4-part series, or was it? I don't know. 7-part series called The Stakes.
7-part or 8 parts?
Something like that.
I don't know. I knew very little about this episode. I was just there's no context. I don't know how this fits in. I don't know the history between these characters. I was kind of clueless the whole way through, but it's fine.
So I think it's 7. It's 7.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I mean, the good thing about it is that it really feels like it works on its own. As a standalone episode, they bring in.
Do you think so? Because I just expressed an exact opposite sentiment.
Well, I was trying to make sure that we were saying the right thing.
Okay.
I know it's
Part 4,
it's
the
8.
Empress Eyes.
It's 8. It's 8. It's an 8-parter. The Stakes is.
I liked it. I felt good about it. I felt positivity here on this one. Felt really good.
Yeah. I felt differently than you, Eric. I thought that what was cool about it is that it comes. I was lost about certain things that was happening, but centrally, there's like a central plot that happens in this episode, which is this new like bad person emerges, asks the Ice King for something. Like it was like all self-contained that this new villain comes in and is thwarted all within the middle of the episode. So that's the reason that it worked. But there were lots of other loose ends that I was like, I wonder what this is about.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the format of this miniseries is like they kind of introduce everything, and then there are a group of villains, and they take an episode for each villain, and then they tie it all up.
Yeah.
So this is just one of the villain episodes, and I mean, I guess if you're just focused on her, the Empress eyes, it's a cool little one shot, but I don't remember how she fits into the grand scheme of vampires and all that.
I think she's just one of the cronies. She's not like the leader or anything.
The Empress, yeah. But I mean, like, really, it felt pretty like okay to me because like it was like basically it's like playing into like what we know about Ice King, which is that he's easily manipulated, especially by female characters, which we've seen before with what was the other person? Patience, is that her name? Patience St. Pam.
Oh yeah.
And he is so direct about that in this one. It was like the most direct. What? I have to listen to her. She's a lady. It's like, oh, Jesus, guy.
There was definitely some innuendo from Ice King.
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, we could talk about the ep in some sort of more chronological order. Is that?
Oh, you love to do that.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't watched this episode, it's like, what the fuck are these guys talking about? I mean, so.
I think under any circumstances, it's what the fuck are these guys talking about?
Well, basically the Ice King is in his bed, and then this like person appears that's a vampire and hypnotizes, or so we think, Ice King, and her name's Empress, and she looks like different vampires we've seen before, but she's also got her own like sort of like she's sort of wearing like a business suit almost, and she seems like she's got some authority about her. Like she seems like a formidable vampire, like villain character. And she hypnotizes him and says that she wants blood because she's a vampire and she needs human blood, not penguin blood, as he tries to give. He tries to give up a bunch of his penguins, which I wanted to ask about is that when they go to get he goes to get penguins to give her so she can suck the blood out of, they're playing like poker, the penguins.
With fish.
And one wins. Do we presume that the one that won was Gunter?
I don't know.
I did. I was like, that seems like that's probably Gunter who won.
Like Gunter would be good at gambling.
Yeah.
I could see that. Orgalorg.
Or yeah. So and she wants human blood. She's like, get me Finn's blood, and he's like, you can already see in his eyes they're getting teary, but it's like, okay, I have to do this. Right? So he goes off and then is like, okay, I guess we're gonna get like Finn's blood. And this is where, Sean, you were talking about Jake is out front of a cabin where they're all at, and now are they at Princess Bubblegum's like family cabin?
Yeah, they're at PB's ancestral cabin.
Yeah, so at this point, King of Ooh is the new princess of the Candy Kingdom.
Yeah, that's very true.
And it's actually, so this whole miniseries has its own title sequence with a new theme song sung by Marceline, and it's referenced that King of Ooh is the princess of the Candy Kingdom in the opening sequence.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I figured there's a lot going there. I saw a couple interesting things in that new opening sequence. One of which being almost like a bizarro Princess Bubblegum that was like light blue and like almost like an apparition. I was like, what is that? And then, I mean, the best part is that at the end, they all kind of emerge, and it's like Marceline in the middle. She's kind of the main character, Finn, and then Princess Bubble comes up, and she's just holding a shotgun.
I love that.
Like that's like the image for this miniseries is like her holding a shotgun, which is just incredibly badass.
Yeah, just like country folk bubblegum.
Yeah,
like,
she's she's not in her like regal garb anymore. She's wearing like a relaxing sweater with a fucking shotgun.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Which is really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, she I guess lives out on the countryside now, shooting up intruders.
Needs to protect the land.
Yeah, and she's working on a device. While I guess Finn and Jake are kind of taking turns watching the premises and taking sleeps. Jake is like really out of it. I guess probably from the previous episode, and he's sitting there trying to make up a rap. And I'm gonna be frank with you guys, he's not rapping up to the normal level that Jake raps at. He's patting on his legs, and he's like, and it's and then they go out, and he hears of something, and he like morphs his paws and his legs and extra things into stretchy like stakes, like almost like a spider. Like he's got like 6 of these things, and then gets Princess Bubblegum's outside clock. And this is where we're getting into things where it's like, okay, this is playing into this bigger miniseries that I'm not sure what the outside clock is and what Jake is stretching into, but it's like, oh, okay, this probably connects to something before or after.
Yeah, I don't know anything about the outside clock.
I don't remember anything about the outside clock either. That just felt like one of those rando, like, oh, here's this factoid that we're just putting in here.
But that all passes pretty quickly, and Finn's now watching guard, and he hears like a little crack, and he starts throwing his stakes, like, vampires. And it's Ice King way up, I'd say 80, 90 feet up in the air in a tree, and he's breaking branches, and he looks very sinister, like, because he's under this spell, presumably, like, breaking branches.
Yeah, he's like, breaking branches for fun.
And then we go back to their Empress is reading Ice King's like diary, which she does continuously through the episode, which is just really quite evil. Is that just like a way to show how evil she is by really like she doesn't care about Ice King, I guess. I don't like that. Those are private.
Well, they have some sort of history. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, like it seems like Empress previously had Ice King or Simon under her control.
Yes. We learn that lore near the end when Empress and Marceline are arguing with each other. Yes.
Yeah. And so they're there, and then Marceline is there, sees, oh shit, like Empress is here, and she's watching what's happening, and then in walks Ice King holding Finn inside of his like cape, and he's shirtless. It's kind of unclear why Finn can't just like get out of there, but it brings it down. Marceline comes out and is like, yo, Simon, what the hell are you doing? Empress is like, Marceline's here. And now we've got a whole situation on our hands. And then they get away, right? And they're I don't know, I forget what happens, but eventually we end up in a Marceline flashback where she talks about why she hates vampires, even though she is one. And we get a song, right? Because it's Marceline.
I love this song.
It's like a spoken word bizarre kind of sound.
Yeah, it's cool.
Memories. Memories.
Yeah, with like there's like a drum machine underneath it and a delay on her vocal. It feels all crazy, and it's like
it's almost like we were talking about early dub and toasting over a dub record.
Yeah. Yeah, this is like, it's kind of like that. It's like a remix of a storytelling, but I really like the song as well. I was like, it's really cool and different, and but basically Marceline, after Simon's left her, I guess maybe Simon's under Empress's control. I don't know. This is way back, like hundreds of years, and there's like a family, and she saves the family that's about to get eaten by a vampire, but then the family's like, what the fuck did we just see? This girl throwing a stake through some other guy's heart, and they run away.
Yeah.
Right, and then we're getting to the part which is funny. So now Finn and Jake, after that, Ice King hears that but doesn't care and gets Marceline and Finn inside of ice handcuffs, and then he starts talking to Empress, and Empress is like, okay, like you have to kill Marceline, and he's like, I'm not gonna kill Marceline. And she's like, are you back talking me or whatever? And he goes, I'm real talking you. She's my friend. I can't just kill her.
Yeah, it's called real talk, and which that got me.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you're like, wait, so is he under her spell, or like what's going on here?
Yeah.
And then we learn that he was never under her spell, really. She tries to hypnotize him again and it doesn't work, and she's like, "You're too dense for it." And it becomes clear that he was never under her spell. It's just that she's a woman and he was hoping to, I guess, fuck her. To be crass. And it's like, because he says things like a lot, like and he's like willing to go along with this in hopes that it gets there, but he's got a limit. Did I read that situation correctly?
I guess. I don't know if it really has to be that vulgar.
Oh, sorry.
I think it was maybe just more of like a sort of a fantasy situation, something like she was the dom and he was the sub, and he just wanted to do what she told him to do.
Yeah, now that was in there too. I did want to bring that up because earlier, right? There's actually, they actually kind of say that, right? Like, did she call him his sub or something like that?
No,
like,
minion.
She calls him that, but then there's another quote. God, I wish I wrote it down. Where there's literally, I'm like, this is like, they're explaining how that works in a very gentle way. But then, yeah, Ice King is like, no. And then Finn breaks out of his ice handcuffs with his
I love the
head.
way that he does that.
Yes. I was like, oh my God.
Describe it.
Well, I mean, he
smashes his own handcuffs like pretty easily. But instead of doing that twice, he just headbutts the other set of handcuffs.
Yeah.
Did he headbutt his own set?
I thought he headbutted his own set too. He was like, watch this. And I thought he did it to both. But the headbutting is the thing that drew me in as well.
And I want to explain it, though. So imagine this, right? Their hands are tied by ice, and a huge weight is attached to these like handcuffs. So you've got like a huge like 60-pound dumbbell that's on the ground, and it's ice, and it's connected to ice handcuffs. Presumably, so then both Marceline and Finn are on their knees and bent over because their hands are attached to this really heavy weight. And then to break off him through the ice, Finn just really violently smashes his own head into these handcuffs, shattering them. And then without any sort of, pain or indication that was hard, he does it again to Marceline's.
This is one of Finn's cataloged abilities, just to brute strength through chains. You remember Dad's Dungeon, that episode?
Yeah.
He was supposed to go through the whole process of finding the key to unlock the chains and everything, and he just tears it open instead.
Wow. Oh, man, I did not remember
I forgot about that.
Yeah, this is like one of his abilities.
Well, that really points to the fact that he is a true adventurer. He's a true hero.
Yeah.
Like that's some like true talent right there. And then how does the episode end? So then Ice King gets fed up with Empress, right? And Finn takes him away and is like, "You're done here. You're not gonna see her." And then her and Marceline battle, right? She says a bunch of mean things. They battle. Marceline's trying to stake her. It's getting hairy. And then in comes our hero, Eric, your hero, your favorite character.
Yeah, PB saving the day with science.
Oh, yeah.
With that device we had heard tale of earlier in the episode. She's now made some sort of gun that can freeze vampires. Is that how you would say it? In the air?
Yeah, it just keeps the vampire there.
Yeah, like stuck in motion, and then Marceline stakes it in the heart and then sucks the soul into her mouth. So and I wanted to know more about that, and that might have been covered already, but what's with her sucking this soul of a vampire into herself?
Okay, so this is where things get complicated for me.
I think I remember if you need help with it.
Right, well, just like overall, like Marceline's like, okay, so like if Finn has an ability like on his character sheet where he can smash through chains, like Marceline's list of abilities has always been a little bit murky, right? Because she's a vampire, she's a demon, she's both. I remember like when Marceline's character was introduced, it seemed like she could do all these crazy things. Like how are these like what vampires do? I think that the way that this is supposed to clean all that up is Marceline is a demon, and all these other vampires are like they have some other magical thing going on before they were vampires. So that's why this is like the gang of like the most powerful vampires.
Yeah.
So Marceline's demon power is to suck souls, just like her dad. And she was made a vampire by the Vampire King, but she defeated the other like high-ranking vampires by being a demon, and she doesn't get their vampire powers because she already is a vampire. She gets whatever other magical power that they had.
Okay.
Yeah.
But then this is confusing to me because I guess the Empress has two powers. The power that Marceline gets is invisibility, but she had this hypnotizing thing going on also.
That's interesting. Yeah, I didn't really thought about that too much, but you're right, is that she got the invisibility but not the hypnosis.
Well, the hypnosis, though, did prove to be faulty in this episode.
Well, it almost worked on Marceline.
It did.
That's true.
And it almost worked on Ice King, but then clearly didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it didn't even show any signs of affecting him at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Other than him just being an idiot. I suppose that gag, I guess, might have gone over a little bit better if I had remembered like what the Empress's hypnosis power was before the episode started. I guess it's introduced in the beginning of the miniseries somehow. I don't know. But you do see it start to affect Marceline a little bit, like she glows pink or whatever it is.
Her eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, that whole thing is like, you know, when we watched the episode, it like came back to me very slowly what you're talking about the like, oh yeah, that's right. Like Marceline is this wildly complex character that's just like full of like a whole TV show's worth of lore in like one character, basically. You know?
Yeah. And yeah, so this miniseries, I guess, it's a little bit of her origin story. It sort of makes it a little bit clearer how she got all these crazy powers, because she seems OP for just a regular vampire.
But
like,
is
the whole first 6 seasons of the show.
Yeah, but this isn't back in time, right? It's in present time. Yeah.
You get like bits and pieces of her origin story that.
Oh, right. Like we saw in this one
previously. Yeah.
I understand. But it is cool. I mean, Marceline then ends up being incredibly powerful because she has like more powers than anyone almost, right?
I guess that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Is like she had how many are there 6 different vampires?
Yeah,
that she
something
stole
like
their
that.
powers?
Yeah.
She should be unbeatable. Although I still contend that stretchy power is such a good power that like all of Marceline's powers, Jake gets to do so much with stretchy power. It like takes up for a million different powers.
Yeah, that's very true.
Is there an episode where he grows so big that he's bigger than the Earth and then takes one step and is like in a different continent?
His daughter? His daughter does that.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, actually, I don't. Yeah, so the pups have like weird combinations of powers also, because like they're half rainicorn, I guess.
Yeah.
And rainicorns can phase. So I think it's Charlie is the pup that does that that huge like trans world step across continents.
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of stretching and phasing that allows her to do that. I don't.
Yeah, this is off topic, and it's not to downplay Marceline's powers. I love Marceline and I respect them. I'm just saying, like, when I saw that and I was like, okay, if that's on the table, you can accomplish a lot with stretchy powers.
Yeah.
Like, anything's really possible.
There is the episode where Jake's literally stretched to the limit. Have you seen that one?
I think, didn't we all watch that one?
Not on the show.
No.
Oh, okay. I've seen that one.
Where they're like stretching through some like maze dungeon.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
So you can see the
think
double-headed war elephant thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that thing's name again?
The ancient psychic tandem.
The ancient psychic tandem war elephant.
Yeah, is that the full name?
Yeah.
Or am I missing part of it? I don't know.
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was their reward for completing that mission, but that Jake had to stretch himself almost to death for.
Yeah,
Wow.
I remember that.
So it's not infinite.
All right, well, it goes pretty far.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty far.
Yeah. Did you guys see the snail?
Did you see the snail? Did you see the snail? Did you see it?
Yeah, I saw the snail. Sean, did you see the snail?
I got a curveball. You ready? I think I did, but I'm not sure.
What?
Yeah. So after Nick talks, I want to ask you where you saw the snail. I think I know where I saw it, but maybe. Nick, did you see the snail?
No, I didn't see the snail.
Okay. Well, Eric.
Oh, damn.
Eric, okay, so I want to try and paint the picture. And maybe I saw the snail, but it was like out of the corner of my eye at the final frame before like change to a different scene. But like, are they in Ice King's home and the Empress has just hypnotized Ice King and then she snaps her fingers and then Ice King's like, I'll do whatever you want. And then they cut and then in the top left corner, the snail is there like in a cage.
Yep, that's exactly where he was.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
There were some tidy whities on the floor not too far away from him.
Yeah, I
Gotcha.
saw those.
His shell
course.
caught me out of the corner of my eye.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. I thought
work.
this one was pretty visible as far as snails go.
He was visible, but your eye wasn't drawn as much to him.
The tidy whities were definitely a distraction to me because I remember that scene and I was looking around and I was like, oh, I see the tidy whities. And I think that, like, because a lot of times when the snail is in there, there's only one sort of background. He's the only background element. You know what I mean? So it distracted me.
Sometimes there's like a real Where's Waldo vibe to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's play that. Congratulations, Eric and Sean theme song.
Yay!
One second. I'm sorry.
Congratulations, Eric, my friend. Saw the snail and I can't even begin to pretend to know where the guy was. Not till next week comes.
Yeah, both of you. Yeah, Eric and Sean.
You're the champion.
All right. Miscellany Mania.
Oh, yeah.
There's things you may not know. Those Eric and Nick will show you all the trivia in
All right, Eric, you got any?
Okay.
You got any prepared?
Not really.
Yeah, me neither. It's kind of an episode that would. I mean, I don't know. Who voices Empress? Do you have that up?
Rebecca Romaine.
Do we know that person?
She's an actress. She's pretty famous. She was Mystique in the original X-Men movies.
Oh wow.
Mystique.
She was married to John Stamos.
Really? Huh.
All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't picture her. Oh well. Yeah. I don't know. I don't have any really good trivia on it.
So
So when they did these mini-series, they did air them all together in 1 week, I think.
oh wow.
1 week. That's a lot of
That's
adventure
cool.
time.
I have a question.
Yeah, I think they did like 1 or 2 episodes a night for a few nights in a row.
Do we know who like? Well, I guess I love the fact that, obviously it's like bass for the theme song, But do we know
Yeah.
if there was like anything? Is this the first time when we hear one of the altered theme songs like this miniseries?
Oh, no, because we have a different one for Fiona and Cake episodes.
Oh, and we've already been hearing the Fiona and Cake stuff. That's right. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, this is the first of 3 mini-series, and they all have unique opening
yeah,
sequences.
so great.
Yeah.
These
Nice.
miniseries are awesome.
Yeah, it's fun that they do that in there. What is the first miniseries?
It's this
Is
one,
one?
Stakes. Season 7.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 8, they did Islands, which was like Finn's origin story.
Mm-hmm.
And then
a great one.
season 9 was The Elements.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
that one. Yeah. Well,
And I guess they
Wild.
have. Then they do a lot of like continuing ones where it's like each a Fiona and Cake or Greybles, which I still don't really know what that is.
Oh, the great
Greybles.
Oh my god.
They do that. I guess that's.
Who
when,
voices
when we
Greybles?
started doing this podcast, I was so worried we would get a Greybles episode to do like too early because I wasn't mentally prepared.
I feel like we almost did, and then we said we're not doing that now. Maybe.
I don't think it's come up
Oh,
yet.
okay.
But I think if we get a Greybles episode, I'd be okay with it.
We're ready now.
It's like you're talking about like it's like a mentally taxing affair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they are wild.
I couldn't have done it like 4 months ago, but I'm not seeking it out. But if it happens, I will accept
Who
it.
voices the Greybles guy again?
Emo Phillips.
Oh yeah, that's right, Emo Phillips. Gosh, what a prime!
He's such an oddball.
Such an oddball.
I can't wait to know what Greybles is.
I do love Emo Phillips. Whenever I think of Emo Phillips, I think of UHF. Which have you seen that movie?
Oh man, it's been like a million years, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
Emo Phillips does like a woodworking TV show for UHF where he cuts his thumb off. Oh, geez, would you look at that?
Yeah, I think his like he did like a bunch of stand up and stuff that was sort of like that.
Yeah.
He went on like late night TV, and it was just like, what the fuck is this guy?
yeah, his whole thing on Crashing with Pete Holmes was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, how's that go again? I forget. I remember him being in it, but
Yeah, well, because he's such like a bizarre, random stand-up.
yeah.
Like his material is just so out there, but like for some reason it caught on, and he got like super famous in the stand-up circuit like a while ago.
Yeah.
And so I forget what the situation is, but like Pete Holmes is like about to have like an important moment or something, and Emo Phillips just shows up, and they're like, well, he's got to go on. He said he wants to go on. He's here. He has to do it. And he totally fucks up Pete Holmes' schedule because like you can't deny Emo Phillips just going up and doing a set for however long he wants.
Yeah.
And it was like super bizarre, and everyone loved it. And then it just created some issue with him with scheduling or something. I forget, but it was like, like in the series of events that are unfortunate that happened to Pete Holmes in this series.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot about that. That's fun. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, I guess back then too, like when Emo Phillips was getting popular, like you didn't like being a bizarre comedian. I guess that was like in the ether, and you already had like Andy Kaufman out and stuff, but there wasn't like you couldn't get that everywhere. So I'm sure like all the weirdos like us, if someone like Emo Phillips came out, you all were like, oh my god, like there he is. Sort of like with like Captain Beefheart or Frank Zappa or something, probably too, where you're just like, holy shit, there's a new weird person just broke through. Like everyone go support it.
Yeah.
That's how I imagine it. Yep. Cool. Well, more Emo Phillips on the next Greybles episode. Let's see if we get it this time, Eric, and generate one.
What are we gonna watch next week? What are we gonna watch? It's the episode generator.
It's not a Greybles episode, but we got 175, season 6, episode 19. Is that you?
Okay. Any sort of synopsis there?
I don't remember. It's a Jesse Moynihan episode.
Fun.
Looks like he was the sole storyboarder for it, so entirely him.
And it.
So that makes me think it's a good and important episode, but I don't remember what the
Guys.
title.
Well, there's something very important about this episode. is that one of my favorite characters in the whole show is in this episode.
Prismo?
Prismo.
That's the one you should have just come on for that one.
Maybe I will. Who knows?
Whoa! Back to backs.
Oh,
We haven't done any
wait.
Prismo yet.
Hi guys, it's
Yeah.
Prismo.
This is a good one.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
Oh, we just talked about this episode a few pods ago.
Oh yeah?
I think this is the Fin Sword episode, right?
Maybe.
Sean, do you remember?
Time travel episode?
Yeah. Is this one of the one with like the pickles and everything?
Yes. This is a great episode.
Good. I'm
I
excited.
can't wait to watch this one again. This is gonna be
Yeah,
so
next
awesome.
week will be good. Yeah, Sean, come back on.
Yeah,
for
I'll
next
do
week.
it.
This is
Sure.
gonna be a good one.
Yay!
Very good one.
Yay! We did it.
Yeah.
We made an episode of the podcast again.
Woohoo!
Hey, if you like this and you guys want to support the podcast, we haven't mentioned this in a couple eps, but if you go to anchor.fm/Adventure Guys Podcast, you can support us. Throw us 50 cents a month, $1 a month. That's like literally nothing. You won't even know that you're doing it.
Or if you're rich, $100 a month.
Yeah.
Just however much money you won't notice is missing, just throw that in. Have it go to these two guys. I think that's a really it would be good.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Jeff Bezos, if you're listening, $1 million a month.
You won't notice
Just
it.
saying.
Yeah,
You
Jeff.
won't, I promise you won't know that money's gone.
Come on, Jeff.
Or Jeff's accountant. I bet you're listening.
Hey, Jeff's accountant. What's your
I
cut? So what's your
I tweeted at Jeff Bezos telling him to buy my album. He could name his price.
Do you think did
He did.
he do it?
He didn't respond.
Oh
No.
man.
Come on, that's what Twitter's for.
Twitter failing me again.
All right. Anchor.fm/Adventure Guys Podcast. Find us on Instagram, Twitter, all those places, and subscribe. Tell your friends. Thanks for listening.
Peace out, y'all.
See ya.